My business partner had a separate bank account. We were struggling. I'm staring at a Bank of America statement that shouldn't exist, and my hands won't stop shaking. The paper is crumpled from where I found it, wedged behind Marcus's desk drawer after I knocked over his coffee mug 20 minutes ago. Coffee everywhere, me scrambling to clean it up before he got back from his investor meeting, and then this fucking statement just appeared. Like the universe decided I'd suffered enough. Account balance, $247,832.19. The name at the top reads Marcus Chen, DBA TechFlow Solutions. Our company that's supposedly 3 months behind on rent, that's had me eating nothing but ramen and peanut butter sandwiches for 6 weeks straight because we can't afford salaries right now. Our company that I've been keeping alive with $3,000 a month from my rapidly depleting savings account because Marcus convinced me we were drowning. I'm living on Sarah's couch. I haven't bought new clothes in 8 months. Last week I walked 45 minutes to a client meeting because I couldn't afford the Uber, and Marcus fucking Chen, has $250,000 sitting in a secret business account. The transactions tell the whole story. Client payments I've never seen. Invoice numbers I recognize but money I've never touched. DataSync Corp., $35,000. Meridian Holdings, $18,500. Phoenix Industries, $42,000. All companies I brought in. All deals I closed. All revenue that somehow never made it to our shared business account, the one showing a balance of $312 as of yesterday. Emma? You okay in there? Marcus's voice carries from the hallway. He's back early. I shove the statement into my laptop bag and grab paper towels, my heart hammering against my ribs. Yeah. Just cleaning up this coffee mess. He walks in looking perfectly put together in his $200 button down. Wait, how the hell is he affording $200 shirts? And surveys the damage with that concerned expression I used to find endearing. Now it makes my stomach turn. No worries, Em. How'd the Morrison presentation go this morning? Good. Really good, actually. They want to move forward with a full package. I'm amazed my voice sounds normal because inside I'm screaming. $48,000 for the complete system overhaul. His eyes light up. Literally fucking light up at the mention of money that he apparently plans to steal from me. Again. That's incredible. You're amazing at this, you know that? He puts a hand on my shoulder, and I have to fight not to flinch away. Unfortunately, we should probably put most of that toward catching up on our debts. You know how tight things are. 3 years. 3 years I trusted this man with my life, my career, my financial future. 3 years of we're in this together and just a little longer, and I couldn't do this without you, Em. 3 years of believing we were partners building something incredible while sacrificing everything else in my life. My phone buzzes with a text from Sarah, rent's due tomorrow. Everything okay? I borrowed $800 from my best friend last week to help cover her rent since I'm crashing in her living room indefinitely. Meanwhile, my business partner is sitting on enough money to buy a house. Marcus, I say carefully, I was thinking maybe we should review our financials together tonight. Get a clear picture of where we stand. Something flickers across his face, so quickly I almost miss it. Fear? Guilt? Sure, he says, recovering. But I think you'll be disappointed. Numbers haven't changed much. Oh, Marcus. The numbers have changed everything. I spend the next 6 hours pretending to work while actually digging through every digital file I can access without triggering our IT security logs. What I find makes the bank statement look like pocket change. Marcus has been methodical. Terrifyingly methodical. Our legitimate business account, the one I have access to, shows the pathetic reality I've been living with. But cross-referencing our client contracts with actual payment dates reveals a pattern that makes me physically nauseous. Every major contract I've landed in the past 18 months has been split. A portion goes to our shared account, just enough to keep me from asking too many questions, and the rest vanishes into what I now realize is his personal slush fund. The Hartwell Industries deal I closed in March? Contract was for $67,000. Our shared account received $23,000. I remember Marcus explaining that Hartwell had negotiated down and we'd need to tighten our belts even more. I gave up my apartment that month. Morrison Industries, the deal I literally closed this morning? I quoted them $48,000, but I'm looking at an internal email thread where Marcus told them to remit payment to his separate account for tax purposes. My laptop screen blurs as rage builds behind my eyes. I've been playing the struggling entrepreneur while he's been living like a king. Every sacrifice I've made, every relationship I've damaged because I couldn't afford to go out, every night I've lain awake on Sarah's couch wondering if we'd make it through another month, all of it was theater for his benefit. Hey Em, want to grab dinner? My treat. Marcus appears beside my desk holding his jacket. His treat. With my fucking money. Can't tonight, I manage. Sarah's cooking. Which is true, she's making spaghetti because it's cheap and filling, and she knows I can't contribute groceries this week. Come on, you work too hard. Let me take you somewhere nice. That new steakhouse on 5th Street. A steakhouse. I haven't eaten meat in 2 months because I can't afford it, and he wants to take me to a steakhouse with money he stole from me. The irony is so twisted I almost laugh. Rain check? He shrugs, disappointed but not suspicious. Sure thing. Don't stay too late. After he leaves, I keep digging. Our shared Google Drive has folders I never bothered checking, admin stuff Marcus always handled. Now I'm combing through everything with new eyes. Insurance payments made from his account, not ours. Office rent checks that don't match our behind on payments story, we're apparently current, and have been this entire time. Equipment purchases I never approved but that show up in our inventory. Then I find the investor correspondence folder. My blood turns to ice water. Emma, just wanted to follow up on our last conversation. The $85,000 we discussed for your Q3 expansion should hit your business account by Friday. Looking forward to seeing how you both utilize these funds to scale. Richard Blackstone, Meridian Capital. $85,000. From 3 weeks ago. I check our shared account balance, $312. Marcus has been taking investor money too. Money meant for both of us, money I probably signed documents to receive, money that legally belongs to our partnership. While I've been drowning, he's been collecting checks from investors who think they're funding two struggling entrepreneurs. My phone buzzes. Just got to dinner. This place has an amazing wine list. Wish you were here. A wine list. He's at a restaurant with a wine list, drinking alcohol that costs more than my weekly food budget, celebrating God knows what with money he's systematically stolen from me. I screenshot everything. I spend the next hour methodically photographing every document with my phone, my hand steadier now that I have a mission. The initial shock has crystallized into something harder, more focused. Marcus thinks he's smart, but he's left a paper trail that would make a forensic accountant weep with joy. Then I find the folder labeled Personal MC buried 3 levels deep in our shared drive. He's been tracking his theft. There's actually a spreadsheet. Column A, client name. Column B, actual contract amount. Column C, amount deposited to shared account. Column D, amount diverted to MC Holdings LLC, apparently his shell company. Column E, Emma's awareness level, with notes like unsuspicious and asking questions about Morrison payment, deflected with rent concerns. He's been fucking documenting my financial abuse like a science experiment. The numbers make me dizzy. Over the past 18 months, we brought in $687,000 in revenue. I've seen $94,000 of it. Marcus has pocketed the rest while watching me borrow money from friends and skip meals. But the worst part is column F, emotional manipulation notes. Suggested M move in with Sarah temporarily to save money, she agreed readily. Mentioned my own salary cuts to maintain partnership sympathy. M getting frustrated with ramen diet, ordered pizza for office, played up rare treat angle. There's an entry from last Tuesday. M mentioned missing her sister's birthday dinner due to finances. Perfect opportunity to reinforce scarcity mindset. Expressed sympathy and suggested we're almost through the worst of it. I missed Rachel's birthday because I couldn't afford the restaurant they chose. I've been dodging family events for months, too embarrassed to explain why I can't cover a $40 dinner when I'm supposedly running a successful business. Meanwhile, Marcus has been taking notes on my social isolation like he's conducting a psychology experiment. My phone rings. Sarah. Hey, how late are you working tonight? Not sure yet. My voice sounds weird, hollow. Found some accounting discrepancies I need to sort through. Emma, you work too hard. Marcus needs to pull his weight more. If only she knew. Yeah, we need to have a conversation about that. Good. You've been killing yourself for this company while he coasts. When's the last time you saw him stay late or stress about money? When's the last time? Never. He's never once seemed genuinely worried about our finances because he's been sitting on more money than either of us made at our corporate jobs. The stress I've been watching him display, running his hands through his hair during budget meetings, his concerned frowns when discussing cash flow, all of it was theater. After Sarah hangs up, I keep scrolling through his notes. There's an entire section labeled Future Planning. Consider bringing M in on partial truth if questioned directly about discrepancies. Could claim was building emergency fund for company without telling her to avoid additional stress. He's already planning his excuse. Probably something about protecting me, about being the responsible partner who made hard decisions. He'll make himself the hero of this story. Phase out M's involvement in client-facing work gradually. Transition her to back-end development only by Q4 2024. This will limit her awareness of new contract values. My stomach drops. He's planning to push me out of my own business. The clients I brought in, the relationships I built, he wants to cut me off from all of it and relegate me to coding in the background while he handles business development. There's a timeline, January 2025, propose equity restructure based on changing responsibilities. Suggest 30 to 70 split reflects actual contribution levels. 30%. He's planning to manipulate me into giving up 70% of the company I helped build, using financial stress he artificially created. The office is completely dark now except for my laptop screen. Outside, Portland's evening traffic hums past while I sit here realizing that my business partner, my friend, has been planning to destroy my career for months. My phone buzzes with another text from Marcus, having the most amazing duck confit. You'd love this place. Next time we close a big deal, we're celebrating here together. Next time we close a deal, he'll steal most of it and suggest we celebrate with leftover pizza. But not anymore. I create a new folder on my personal cloud drive, Marcus Evidence. Time to build a case. I'm 3 hours into uploading evidence when I hear Marcus's key in the office door. Shit. It's 11:47 p.m. What the hell is he doing back here? I slam my laptop shut and shove the printed bank statements under a stack of legitimate invoices, my heart hammering so loud I'm sure he'll hear it from the hallway. The scanner is still warm. I flip the power switch and pray it cools down before he notices. Emma? Your car's still here. His voice carries that slight slur of someone who's had exactly 3 glasses of wine. You've been here for like 14 hours. Couldn't sleep anyway, I call back, forcing casual exhaustion into my voice. Figured I'd get ahead on the Morrison project specs. He appears in the doorway, loosening a tie that probably costs more than my monthly phone bill. In the fluorescent lighting, I can see the flush across his cheeks, the satisfied glow of someone who just spent $200 on dinner without thinking twice. Seriously. This is exactly why we need to hire more developers soon. You're burning yourself out. Hire more developers with what money, Marcus? Oh right, the $250,000 you've been hiding. Just want to make sure we deliver quality work, I say, opening my laptop to a random code file. How was dinner? Incredible. You know what? Things are going to turn around for us soon. I can feel it. He leans against my desk, and I catch a whiff of expensive cologne. When did he start wearing cologne? The Morrison deal is going to change everything. Yeah, it'll change everything because I'm going to make sure every penny goes where it's supposed to go this time. Marcus, I've been thinking about our client payment system, I say carefully. Maybe we should set up automatic routing so both of us get notifications when payments come through. Just for transparency. The change in his expression is subtle, a slight tightening around his eyes, but I've known him for 3 years. I catch it. That's not really necessary, is it? I mean, I've been handling that stuff fine so far. He straightens up, suddenly more alert despite the wine. Why? Are you worried about something? My mouth feels dry. Not worried, exactly. Just thinking we should be more systematic as we grow. Emma. He sits down across from me, and his voice takes on that gentle, concerned tone I used to trust completely. I know things have been really hard lately. The money stress, moving in with Sarah, all of it. Are you starting to doubt that we can make this work? The manipulation is so smooth I almost miss it. He's taking my reasonable request for financial transparency and reframing it as anxiety, as weakness, as doubt in our partnership. 6 hours ago, this would have worked. I'd have backpedaled, assured him I wasn't questioning his judgment, maybe even apologized for bringing it up. I don't doubt we can make it work, I say slowly. I just think we should both be more involved in all aspects of the business. Of course. You're absolutely right. He nods earnestly. Tell you what, this weekend, let's sit down and go through everything together. I'll show you exactly where we stand, what payments are coming in, our full financial picture. Deal? This weekend. That gives him 3 days to clean up whatever else he's hiding, to prepare his story. 3 days to figure out how to explain the discrepancies if I push hard enough to find them through official channels. But I already have what I need. That sounds perfect, I lie. After he leaves, I wait 20 minutes before turning the scanner back on. There are 12 more folders I haven't been through yet, and my Dropbox is only at 60% uploaded. I find the insurance folder at 1:23 a.m. Marcus filed a business insurance claim 4 months ago. Equipment theft, supposedly, laptops, monitors, development hardware worth $31,000. I remember that week clearly because I helped him inventory our losses and filed a police report. The equipment was never stolen. It's all still here. Every laptop, every monitor, every piece of hardware we supposedly lost. I'm looking at serial numbers that match our current inventory exactly. Marcus committed insurance fraud and pocketed the $31,000 payout while I spent 3 hours at the police station describing equipment that was sitting safely in our supply closet. My hands are shaking again, but this time it's pure rage. The police report has my signature on it. My statement describing the break-in that never happened. If this gets investigated, I'm not just a victim of Marcus's theft, I'm potentially an accomplice to insurance fraud. He's been setting me up from the beginning. I'm staring at my own signature on a fraudulent police report, and the reality hits me like ice water. Marcus hasn't just been stealing from me. He's been positioning me as his fall guy. My phone buzzes with a text at 1:47 a.m. Marcus, just got home. Thanks for working so hard on Morrison. You're the best partner a guy could ask for. Get some sleep. Smiling face with smiling eyes. Partner. The word makes me want to vomit. I screenshot his text and add it to my evidence folder, right next to the photos of our stolen equipment sitting in plain sight on the shelves behind me. The laptop I'm using right now is serial number LT4471B, reported stolen on June 15th. The monitor displaying Marcus's fake concern is MN8834C, also supposedly taken during the break-in I helped him report. I've been so fucking naive. My phone rings, making me jump. Unknown number at 2 a.m. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Emma Rodriguez? The voice is professional, alert despite the late hour. Yes? This is Detective Kim Reeves, Portland PD Financial Crimes Division. Sorry to call so late, but I understand you're a partner at TechFlow Solutions? My blood turns to slush. Yes, that's correct. We've received some information regarding potential financial irregularities at your company. I was hoping we could schedule a time to talk, just to clear up a few questions. Financial irregularities. Someone else knows. Someone else has been investigating, and now the police are involved, and I'm sitting here surrounded by evidence that I've been both victim and unwitting accomplice. What kind of irregularities? I manage. I'd prefer to discuss the details in person. Are you available tomorrow afternoon? Say, 2 p.m. at the downtown precinct? Tomorrow afternoon. 15 hours from now. My mind races through possibilities. Did Marcus get sloppy with other clients? Did someone else figure out the pattern? Or worse, is this part of some larger plan where he's already framed me as the mastermind? Ms. Rodriguez? Are you there? Yes, sorry. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. works. I'm amazed my voice sounds steady. Great. Oh, and Emma? Don't discuss this call with your business partner just yet. We're still gathering information. The line goes dead. I sit in the dark office, surrounded by stolen equipment, holding evidence of systematic theft, and now the police want to talk to me about financial crimes at my own company. The timing can't be coincidental. My laptop chimes with a new email. 2:14 a.m., from an address I don't recognize, datasyncorp.legal@datasync.com. Subject, payment discrepancy, TechFlow Solutions. Ms. Rodriguez. Asterisk our accounting department has flagged an issue with recent payments to your company. We show 2 separate invoices for the same project, one from your shared business account for $15,000, and one from Marcus Chen Holdings LLC for $35,000. Both reference the same project deliverables and timeline, asterisk. Asterisk we need clarification on which entity should receive payment, as we cannot process duplicate invoices for identical work. Please respond within 24 hours or we will be forced to dispute both charges with our bank, asterisk. Additionally, we're required to report potential billing fraud to our legal department if this isn't resolved promptly. Best regards. Jennifer Walsh, DataSync Corp Legal. Marcus has been double billing clients. Not just diverting money, actually creating duplicate invoices and trying to collect twice for the same work. And now DataSync's legal team is asking questions that could unravel everything. I check my sent emails folder, looking for any invoices I might have sent to DataSync. Nothing. Which means Marcus has been sending invoices under my name, from accounts I don't control, for work we both did. How many other clients got double billed? How many companies think I'm part of a systematic fraud scheme? My phone buzzes with another text from Sarah. Everything okay? Saw your car wasn't here when I got up for water. I'm still at the office at 2:30 a.m., discovering that my business partner has been committing multiple felonies while positioning me as his accomplice, and I have a meeting with financial crimes detectives in 12 hours. Just working late. Be home soon, I text back. But I won't be home soon, because I need to understand exactly how deep this goes before Detective Reeves starts asking questions I can't answer. If Marcus has been double billing clients using my name, if there are more fraudulent insurance claims, if he's been forging my signature on documents I never saw, I need to know all of it before I walk into that police station. I create a new document, timeline everything Marcus did using my identity. It's going to be a long list. I'm 4 hours deep in document analysis when I find the email that makes everything click into place. It's buried in a folder labeled Vendor Communications from 8 months ago. The sender is Rebecca Martinez from Cascade Business Insurance, our insurance provider. Asterisk Mr. Chen, thank you for submitting the updated partnership agreement for TechFlow Solutions. We've adjusted your policy to reflect Emma Rodriguez as a limited partner, 15% stake, rather than equal partner, 50% stake, as previously filed. This change affects liability coverage and claim procedures going forward. Please ensure Ms. Rodriguez signs the attached acknowledgement of her reduced stake in the company. Asterisk. 15%. Marcus filed paperwork with our insurance company 8 months ago claiming I only own 15% of the business I helped start. There's an attachment, a partnership agreement I've never seen, with my signature forged at the bottom, agreeing to restructured equity distribution based on capital contributions and operational responsibilities. My signature. Forged. On a legal document that strips away 85% of my ownership while I was eating ramen and borrowing money from friends. I'm staring at my own name, written in handwriting that's close but not quite right. The E and Emma curve slightly different from how I write it. The Z in Rodriguez has a flourish I never do. But it's good enough that it would fool anyone who doesn't see my signature daily. This isn't just theft anymore. It's identity fraud on a massive scale. My phone shows 6:47 a.m. In 7 hours, I'll be sitting across from a financial crimes detective, and I'm starting to understand that Marcus hasn't just been stealing money, he's been systematically erasing me from my own company. I pull up our original LLC filing from 3 years ago. Clean, simple, legal, Emma Rodriguez and Marcus Chen, equal partners, 50-50 split. Then I start tracing the amendments Marcus has filed since then. Month 8, administrative adjustment changing my title from co-founder to development partner. Month 14, operational restructure reducing my signatory authority on business accounts. Month 18, equity rebalancing based on contribution assessment, the one that dropped me to 30% without my knowledge. Month 24, another adjustment down to 15%, filed the same week I gave up my apartment. Every few months, Marcus has been legally erasing me from TechFlow Solutions while I worked 60-hour weeks building the technical foundation that makes our contracts possible. On paper, I'm now a minority partner in a company where I do 70% of the actual work. But here's what makes my blood freeze. The most recent filing is dated 6 days ago. Partnership dissolution preparation documentation of Emma Rodriguez's voluntary withdrawal from TechFlow Solutions effective January 2025. Voluntary withdrawal. He's already filed paperwork claiming I'm planning to quit. There's a resignation letter attached, my signature forged again, citing personal financial stress and desire to pursue individual opportunities as reasons for leaving the company. According to the state of Oregon, I've already agreed to walk away from TechFlow with nothing. My hands are shaking so hard I can barely scroll through the rest of the document. There's an asset distribution plan that gives Marcus 100% ownership of client relationships, intellectual property, and business accounts. I get personal equipment and accumulated vacation pay, which amounts to the laptop I'm using and roughly $800. 3 years of my life. Gone. Legally signed away by someone else using my name while I slept on my best friend's couch. I screenshot everything and upload it to my evidence folder, but my mind is racing ahead to Detective Reeves and what she's going to ask me. If Marcus has been this thorough about covering his tracks, what else has he filed using my forged signature? What other documents exist out there with my name on them, agreeing to things I never agreed to? The front door chimes. Someone's here at 7:23 a.m. I minimize all my windows and open a random code file, my heart hammering. Through the frosted glass of our office door, I can see 2 figures, one tall, one shorter. Neither moves like Marcus. The knock is professional, authoritative. Portland Police. We're looking for Emma Rodriguez. They're here early. Detective Reeves said 2 p.m., but they're here now, 7 hours ahead of schedule, and I'm sitting in an office surrounded by evidence that I've been both defrauded and potentially set up as the fall guy for multiple felonies. I take a deep breath and walk to the door. Detective Reeves is younger than her voice suggested, maybe mid-30s, with sharp eyes that catalog everything about our office in seconds. Her partner is older, gray-haired, wearing the kind of expression that says he's seen every possible version of financial crime. Ms. Rodriguez? Detective Reeves, Portland PD. This is Detective Morrison. Thanks for meeting us. Actually, we had planned to meet this afternoon. Plans changed. We received some additional information overnight that requires immediate follow-up. She steps into the office, and I notice her eyes pause on the equipment around us. Are you here alone? Yes. Marcus, my partner, usually comes in around 9. Good. That makes this easier. Detective Morrison closes the door behind them. Ms. Rodriguez, we need to ask you some direct questions about financial irregularities at your company, and we need completely honest answers. The way he says it makes my stomach drop. They don't think I'm just a witness anymore. We've been investigating reports of invoice fraud, insurance fraud, and identity theft connected to TechFlow Solutions. Multiple clients have filed complaints, and we've discovered a pattern of systematic financial manipulation going back over 2 years. Detective Reeves pulls out a folder thick enough to choke a horse. What we need to understand is whether you've been a willing participant in these activities, or if you're a victim of them. The folder lands on my desk with a thud that echoes through the empty office. Detective Reeves opens it, revealing photocopies of documents I've never seen, invoices with my forged signature, bank statements from accounts I didn't know existed, and what looks like email correspondence using my company email address. Let's start simple, Detective Morrison says, settling into Marcus's chair like he owns it. Do you recognize this invoice? He slides a paper across my desk. DataSync Corp., $35,000, dated 3 weeks ago. My signature at the bottom, but the billing address is for Rodriguez Consulting Services, a company I've never heard of, let alone created. I know. I mean, we did work for DataSync, but not under that company name. And I never signed this. But that's your signature? Detective Reeves points to the bottom of the page. I study it more carefully. It's good, better than the insurance documents I found earlier. Someone's been practicing. It looks like my signature, but I didn't sign this. I've never heard of Rodriguez Consulting Services. Interesting. Because according to Oregon State business filings, you registered Rodriguez Consulting Services 6 months ago. She produces another document. You also opened 3 business bank accounts under that name and filed for a federal tax ID. My mouth goes completely dry. That's impossible. I wouldn't do that without. Without what? Without your business partner knowing? Detective Morrison leans forward. Ms. Rodriguez, we've been tracking a sophisticated fraud operation. Someone has been creating shell companies, forging signatures, and systematically defrauding clients. The paper trail leads back to you. This is it. This is Marcus's endgame. He hasn't just been stealing money, he's been building a case that makes me the mastermind while he plays the innocent victim. Every forged signature, every fake company registration, every fraudulent invoice has my name on it instead of his. Detectives, I think I'm being framed. The words tumble out before I can stop them. My business partner has been. Mr. Chen? Detective Reeves interrupts. He's actually the one who contacted us. The floor drops out from under me. What? Marcus Chen called our fraud hotline yesterday afternoon. Said he discovered irregularities in your company's finances and was concerned his business partner might be committing crimes without his knowledge. She flips through the folder. He provided quite a bit of evidence, actually. I feel like I'm drowning. No, that's not. He's the one who's been stealing money. I have proof. What kind of proof? This is the moment. Either I trust these detectives with what I've found, or Marcus's version of events becomes the official truth. My laptop is still open behind me, filled with screenshots and documents that could either save me or damn me further. Bank statements. A separate account he's been hiding. Client payments that never made it to our shared business account. He's been systematically stealing money for over a year. Detective Morrison exchanges a glance with his partner. Show us. I turn my laptop around, pulling up the Bank of America statement that started this nightmare 12 hours ago. This is Marcus's secret account. He's been diverting client payments while telling me we're broke. Detective Reeves studies the screen, her expression unreadable. Ms. Rodriguez, this account statement shows your name as the secondary account holder. What? I grab the laptop back, scrolling to the top of the document. There, in small print I missed in my initial shock, account holders, Marcus Chen, Emma Rodriguez. According to our investigation, you've had access to this account for 8 months. The bank has records of you making deposits and withdrawals. My hands shake as I stare at the screen. I've never seen this account before yesterday. I've never made any deposits or withdrawals. I don't even bank with Bank of America. The transactions we're seeing suggest otherwise. Detective Morrison pulls out another document. October 15th, $12,000 deposit at the Burnside branch. October 22nd, $8,500 withdrawal at the same location. Both transactions show your driver's license as ID. October 15th. I was at a client site in Seattle that entire week. I have hotel receipts, meeting notes, expense reports. But as I open my mouth to explain, Detective Reeves drops the final bomb. Emma Rodriguez, you're under arrest for suspicion of wire fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. The handcuffs click shut around my wrists with a sound that echoes through the empty office like a gunshot. Detective Morrison's voice drifts through the fog of shock as he reads me my rights, but all I can focus on is the Bank of America statement still glowing on my laptop screen, the account I've supposedly been accessing for months while living on ramen and borrowed money. I want to call my lawyer, I manage, my voice barely above a whisper. Of course, Detective Reeves says, but her tone has shifted from investigative to procedural. You'll be able to make that call once we're downtown. As they lead me toward the door, my phone buzzes on the desk. A text from Marcus, morning M. Running a few minutes late. Coffee machine broken at home, mind grabbing me something on your way in? You're a lifesaver. Hot beverage smiling face with smiling eyes. The casual cheerfulness of it, the complete normalcy, makes my stomach lurch. In 30 minutes, he'll walk into an empty office and discover that his plan worked perfectly. The evidence I spent all night collecting is still sitting on my laptop, but what good is proof when the police already believe I'm the criminal? Detective Morrison follows my gaze to the phone. Mr. Chen seems to genuinely care about you. He was quite distressed when he called us yesterday. Distressed, I repeat numbly. I'm sure he was. As we walk through the office lobby, I catch Mrs. Patterson from the accounting firm next door peering through her window. By noon, everyone in the building will know that Emma Rodriguez got arrested for fraud. By evening, it'll be all over our industry network. Even if I prove my innocence, the damage to my reputation will be permanent. Marcus planned this perfectly. In the back of the police car, I stare out at Portland's morning traffic and try to piece together how deep his deception goes. If he's been using my identity to open bank accounts and register fake companies, what else has he done? Are there credit cards in my name? Loans? How many other financial crimes am I about to be blamed for? My phone, confiscated but still visible in Detective Reeves' evidence bag, lights up with another text. This one's from Sarah, saw the news alert about TechFlow arrests. Please tell me it wasn't you. News alert. It's already public. Whatever life I had left outside this nightmare just evaporated. Detective Reeves, I say as we pull into the precinct parking garage, what happens if I can prove Marcus has been forging my signature on legal documents? She turns around in the front seat. That would be something to discuss with your attorney. But Emma? The evidence against you is substantial. Multiple clients have identified you as the person who contacted them about payment changes. Bank security footage shows someone who looks like you making those transactions. Someone who looks like me. My mind flashes to Marcus's sister Jenny, who people always said could be my twin. Same height, same build, similar hair color. I haven't seen Jenny in months. Marcus said she moved to Sacramento for work. But what if she never left Portland? What if she's been the one walking into banks with my stolen ID, making deposits and withdrawals while I was debugging code or meeting with clients? Detective, I need you to check something. Marcus's sister, Jennifer Chen. Can you verify she actually moved to Sacramento? Detective Morrison makes a note. We'll look into it. But his tone suggests they won't look very hard. Why would they, when they already have their suspect sitting in handcuffs in their back seat? As we walk into the precinct, I catch a glimpse of the morning news playing on a lobby television. The banner reads, "Local tech entrepreneur arrested in fraud scheme." There's a photo of me from our company website, professional and smiling, next to a photo of our office building. The reporter's voice carries across the lobby, allegations of systematic fraud affecting multiple Portland businesses. Rodriguez's partner, Marcus Chen, cooperated fully with the investigation. Cooperated fully. Of course he did. The holding cell smells like disinfectant and desperation. I've been here for 6 hours, and my one phone call went to a public defender who sounded like he was eating lunch while I explained that my business partner framed me for multiple felonies. "Ms. Rodriguez, your attorney is here," the guard announces, jangling keys that echo off concrete walls. I expect to see the overworked public defender from the phone. Instead, a woman in an expensive suit walks into the consultation room, mid-40s, sharp eyes behind designer glasses, carrying a leather briefcase that probably costs more than my last 3 months of rent combined. "I'm Victoria Nash, criminal defense attorney. Someone retained my services on your behalf this morning. I can't afford. It's been handled." She sits across from me, pulling out a tablet and legal pad. "We have approximately 40 minutes before your arraignment, so let's make this count. Tell me everything, starting with the bank statement you found yesterday." For the next 30 minutes, I spill everything. The hidden account, the forged signatures, the fraudulent insurance claim, Marcus's systematic theft disguised as company struggles. Victoria takes notes without interrupting, occasionally asking for specific dates or amounts. "Your story is consistent with what my investigator found," she says finally. "The person who hired me has been concerned about irregularities at TechFlow for several weeks." "Who hired you?" "Client privilege prevents me from saying, but they provided substantial evidence that supports your version of events." She slides a folder across the table. "Including this. The first document makes my heart stop. It's a bank surveillance photo from October 15th, the day I was supposedly in Portland making deposits while actually being in Seattle. The woman in the photo has my height and hair color, but her face is clearly visible. It's Jennifer Chen, Marcus's sister, who supposedly moved to Sacramento." "Jenny never left Portland," I whisper. According to my investigator, Jennifer Chen has been living in a Beaverton apartment under the name Jennifer Rodriguez since March. She's also been working part-time at the Burnside Bank of America branch where most of these transactions occurred. The implications hit me like a freight train. Jenny works at the bank. She has access to accounts, transaction records, security footage. She can manipulate everything from the inside while Marcus handles the paperwork side of the fraud. There's more. Victoria flips to the next page. Marcus Chen filed for a marriage license 3 weeks ago. He's getting married? To who? Jennifer Chen. My brain short circuits. That's his sister. No, Emma. That's his girlfriend. They've been together for over 2 years. The sister story was cover. Victoria's expression is grim. Jennifer Chen is not related to Marcus. She's his romantic partner and co-conspirator in systematic identity theft. The woman I've been treating like family, who came to company picnics, who I confided in about my financial struggles, who hugged me when I had to give up my apartment, she's been Marcus's girlfriend this entire time. And together, they've been destroying my life while I trusted them both completely. The marriage license is dated for next Friday, Victoria continues. Convenient timing, since spousal privilege would prevent Jennifer from being compelled to testify against Marcus in any future proceedings. They're getting married to cover up the fraud. That's what it looks like. But here's the problem, the prosecution's case against you is still strong. Marcus and Jennifer have been very thorough. Even with this evidence, we need more to prove your innocence conclusively. The door opens and Detective Reese appears. "Time's up. Rodriguez, you're due in court." As the guard leads me toward the courtroom, Victoria walks beside me. "Emma, I need you to trust me on something. When we get in there, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty, but I'm not going to argue for bail." "What? Why?" "Because the safest place for you right now is in custody. Marcus and Jennifer think their plan worked perfectly. If you're in jail, they'll get careless." "You want me to stay in jail?" "Just for a few days. My investigator needs time to gather more evidence, and if Marcus thinks you're neutralized, he'll make mistakes." She stops walking, forcing the guard to wait. "Emma, I believe you're innocent. But right now, staying in custody might be the only thing that keeps you from being framed for even more crimes." In the courthouse hallway, I catch a glimpse of Marcus through the window of the courtroom doors. He's sitting in the gallery, looking appropriately concerned and betrayed, probably practicing his wounded business partner routine for the cameras. Next to him sits Jennifer Chen, holding his hand supportively. My supposed friend. My supposed family. The woman who's been committing crimes using my identity while comforting me about the financial stress those same crimes were causing. "Ms. Rodriguez?" The guard nudges me forward. "Time to go." As we walk into the courtroom, Marcus looks up with perfectly crafted surprise and disappointment. He's even managed to make his eyes look slightly red, like he's been crying over his poor, criminal business partner. But Jennifer makes a mistake. For just a second, when she thinks no one is looking, she smiles. The arraignment lasts exactly 12 minutes. I stand there in orange jail scrubs while the prosecutor rattles off charges that sound like they're describing someone else's life: wire fraud, conspiracy, identity theft, filing false insurance claims. The amounts are staggering, over $300,000 in alleged theft, affecting 17 different clients. Victoria enters my not guilty plea with the confidence of someone who's done this 1,000 times, but when the judge asks about bail, she doesn't fight the prosecution's request to deny it. I'm officially remanded into custody pending trial. As they lead me back toward the holding area, I hear Marcus's voice in the hallway, talking to what sounds like a reporter. "Emma was like a sister to me. I trusted her completely. To find out she's been stealing from our clients while I thought we were struggling together, it's devastating. A sister. The irony would be funny if my life wasn't imploding." Back in my cell, I try to process what Victoria told me about Jennifer. Every interaction we've had over the past 3 years suddenly takes on a sinister meaning. The way she always asked detailed questions about my financial situation. How she'd show up with groceries when I was broke, playing the concerned family member while actually gathering intelligence. The time she offered to help me organize my personal documents for tax purposes. Did she photograph my driver's license then? My social security card? My cellmate is a woman named Rosa who's been here for 6 months on embezzlement charges. When I explain my situation, she nods knowingly. Classic setup job. Seen it before. Partner takes everything, leaves you holding the bag. She's braiding her hair with the efficiency of someone who's perfected the routine. Your lawyer any good? I think so. Someone anonymous hired her for me. Rosa raises an eyebrow. Anonymous benefactor? That's either very good or very bad news, Mija. No middle ground. At 3 p.m., a guard appears at my cell. Rodriguez, you got a visitor. I expect Victoria, but instead I'm led to a small room where a man in his 50s sits waiting. Expensive suit, silver hair, the kind of presence that suggests serious money. He stands when I enter. Ms. Rodriguez, I'm Richard Blackstone. Meridian Capital. The name hits me immediately. He's the investor who sent Marcus $85,000 3 weeks ago. The money I never saw a penny of. Mr. Blackstone, You don't need to explain anything. I'm the one who hired Victoria Nash. He sits back down, gesturing for me to do the same. My firm has been monitoring TechFlow's finances for months. Something about your cash flow reports didn't add up. You've been investigating us? We've been investigating Marcus. Emma, in 30 years of venture capital, I've learned to spot certain patterns. When a company claims to be struggling while consistently delivering high-quality work, when one partner looks increasingly stressed while the other seems oddly comfortable. He pulls out a tablet. I had my people dig deeper. The screen shows a financial analysis that makes my head spin. Dozens of transactions, account transfers, timeline correlations. It's more comprehensive than anything I found in Marcus's files. We've been building a case for 6 weeks. Bank records, client interviews, forensic accounting. Marcus Chen has stolen approximately $847,000 from various sources, clients, investors, insurance companies, and you. Blackstone swipes to another screen. But here's what's interesting, every theft was carefully designed to implicate you as either a co-conspirator or the mastermind. $847,000. Nearly $1 million, stolen while I ate ramen and slept on friends' couches. Why didn't you come forward sooner? Because we needed Marcus to commit to his final play. If we'd intervened earlier, he could have claimed it was all a misunderstanding, paid back some money, and disappeared. Now he's fully committed to framing you, which means he's also fully exposed. Blackstone shows me a new document, email records his investigators somehow obtained. Messages between Marcus and Jennifer, planning every detail of my downfall. The language is casual, almost gleeful. Asterisk Marcus, M signed the Morrison contract today. Should clear $48,000. Transfer 40 to the RCS account, leave 8 in the main. Asterisk. Asterisk Jennifer, done. She's getting suspicious about money though. Maybe time to accelerate timeline? Asterisk. Asterisk Marcus, not yet. Need her to sign off on the Hartwell deliverables first. After that, we can trigger the investigation. Asterisk. Asterisk Jennifer, can't wait to be done with this. She's so pathetic, always thanking me for groceries. Face with tears of joy asterisk. The laughing emoji makes my stomach turn. They've been mocking my financial desperation in private while playing concerned friends to my face. There's more, Blackstone continues. Marcus filed paperwork yesterday to liquidate TechFlow's assets. He's planning to sell everything, client contracts, intellectual property, equipment, and disappear with the proceeds. The wedding is scheduled for Friday, followed by an immediate flight to Costa Rica. They're fleeing the country? They think they are. But Victoria has already filed injunctions to freeze all assets connected to Marcus or Jennifer. The marriage ceremony will be their last act before federal agents arrest them both. I stare at the tablet screen, watching 3 years of my life reduced to transaction records and email evidence. Mr. Blackstone, why are you helping me? Your firm lost money too. Meridian Capital invests in people, not just companies. We've been tracking your work specifically, Emma. The technical architecture you built, the client relationships you developed, that's where TechFlow's real value lies. He closes the tablet. We want to offer you a fresh start. What kind of fresh start? Full funding for your own company. Your own terms, your own vision. Marcus thought he was erasing you from TechFlow, but what he actually did was free you from a partnership that was holding you back. Through the reinforced window, I can see storm clouds gathering over Portland. Somewhere out there, Marcus and Jennifer are probably celebrating their successful plan, counting money they stole from me, planning their escape to a country with no extradition treaty. But they don't know about Richard Blackstone. They don't know about Victoria's investigation, or the federal agents, or the frozen assets. In 3 days, Marcus will stand at an altar thinking he's about to secure his freedom forever. He has no idea he's walking into a trap. The federal agents arrive at the jail on Thursday morning, exactly 18 hours before Marcus and Jennifer's wedding. I'm in the middle of what passes for breakfast when the guard calls my name. Rodriguez, pack your things. You're being transferred. But instead of another cell, I'm led to a conference room where 3 people in dark suits wait with laptops and thick folders. The woman in charge introduces herself as Agent Sarah Chen, no relation to Marcus, she clarifies with a slight smile. Ms. Rodriguez, we're with the FBI's Financial Crimes Task Force. Your case has been escalated to federal jurisdiction due to the interstate nature of the fraud scheme. She opens her laptop, revealing screenshots of bank transfers spanning multiple states. We need your cooperation to finalize our case against Marcus Chen and Jennifer Walsh. Jennifer Walsh. Not Jennifer Chen. Even her last name was part of the lie. We've been tracking this operation for 3 months, Agent Chen continues. What started as a routine insurance fraud investigation revealed a much larger scheme involving identity theft, wire fraud, and money laundering across 4 states. She shows me surveillance photos I've never seen, Marcus meeting with other people, Jennifer at different banks, transactions in Seattle, Phoenix, Denver. This wasn't just about stealing from me and our clients. They've been running similar cons elsewhere. How many victims? I ask. 17 confirmed, possibly more. Total losses approaching $2.3 million. Agent Shin pulls up another file. Marcus and Jennifer have been targeting small tech partnerships, specifically companies with technical founders who trust their business partners to handle finances. My stomach drops. There are other people like me? Sarah Kim in Seattle. David Martinez in Phoenix. Jennifer Okafor in Denver. She shows me photos of 3 people who look as shell-shocked as I feel. All of them discovered secret bank accounts, forged signatures, stolen client payments. All of them were arrested first while their partners played the victim. I'm not unique. I'm not even the first. Marcus and Jennifer have been perfecting this scam for years, leaving a trail of destroyed lives and careers across the western United States. The good news is that your case broke the pattern open. Marcus got sloppy because he thought he was close to retiring. The evidence Mr. Blackstone's team gathered gave us enough to connect the other victims. Agent Shin slides a document across the table. This is a cooperation agreement. In exchange for your testimony about the TechFlow fraud, all charges against you will be dropped. You'll also be eligible for restitution from seized assets. The papers blur as I try to read them. After 4 days in jail, facing the destruction of everything I've worked for, the possibility of freedom feels surreal. What happens to Marcus and Jennifer? If you testify, they're looking at 15 to 20 years federal prison. Wire fraud, identity theft, conspiracy, money laundering, the charges will put them away for a very long time. I signed the cooperation agreement with hands that only shake slightly. 2 hours later, I'm wearing my own clothes again, standing outside the Multnomah County Jail with Victoria Nash. The Portland morning feels impossibly bright after 4 days of fluorescent lighting. The wedding is tomorrow at 2 p.m., Victoria says, handing me a coffee that tastes like heaven. Marcus thinks you're still in jail, still facing 20 years in prison, still the perfect scapegoat for everything he's done. My phone, returned with my personal effects, shows dozens of missed messages. Most are from reporters, but buried in the chaos is a text from my sister Rachel. Saw the news. I know you didn't do this. Whatever you need. For the first time in 4 days, I smile. Victoria, I want to watch when they arrest him. I was hoping you'd say that. The wedding venue is everything Marcus would choose, expensive, pretentious, overlooking the Columbia River. I'm sitting in a surveillance van across the street, wearing a wire and watching through tinted windows as guests arrive for what they think is a celebration but is actually an elaborate arrest operation. Agent Shin adjusts her earpiece beside me. Target vehicles just pulled up. Marcus is in the Tesla, Jennifer's in the white BMW. Through the van's periscope camera, I watch Marcus step out wearing a tuxedo that probably cost more than my monthly grocery budget for the past 6 months. He's practically glowing with satisfaction, checking his Rolex, another purchase that makes sense now, as he straightens his bow tie. Jennifer emerges from her car in a wedding dress that's clearly designer. She looks radiant, like a woman about to marry the love of her life, not someone about to be arrested for identity theft and conspiracy. When Marcus kisses her cheek, I feel physically sick remembering all the times she hugged me while pretending to be his concerned sister. Backup teams are in position, Agent Shin reports. Wedding photographer is actually Agent Martinez. 3 of the waitstaff are ours. Even the minister is federal, got ordained online specifically for this operation. You're really going all out, I murmur, watching more guests file into the venue. Marcus and Jennifer have destroyed a lot of lives. We want this arrest to be ironclad, no chance of escape or claiming entrapment. At 1:47 p.m., my phone buzzes with a text from Marcus, wish you could be here today, M. Even after everything that's happened, I still think of you as family. I hope someday you'll forgive me for having to turn you in. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. The sheer audacity makes my hands clench into fists. Even now, even in his moment of triumph, he's still playing the wounded friend forced to betray his criminal partner. The manipulation is so ingrained he can't help himself. They're starting, Agent Shin announces. Through the camera feed, I watch Marcus take his position at the altar. He's surrounded by friends and family who have no idea they're witnessing the final act of an elaborate criminal enterprise. Jennifer's parents beam from the front row. Do they know what their daughter has been doing? Or are they as deceived as everyone else? The music starts. Jennifer begins her walk down the aisle, carrying a bouquet of white roses that probably cost more than the monthly rent I couldn't afford 6 months ago. Marcus watches her approach with genuine emotion in his eyes, and for a moment I almost forget that this entire relationship was built on stealing from innocent people. Agent Nash, your go for approach, Agent Shin says into her radio. Victoria, who I just learned is actually Agent Victoria Nash, FBI, emerges from behind the catering truck wearing a server's uniform. She positions herself near the altar with a tray of champagne glasses, perfectly placed to intervene if anything goes wrong. The minister begins the ceremony. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. I find myself holding my breath as the familiar words wash over the scene. In another universe, Marcus might have been a real friend who deserved happiness. In another universe, Jennifer might have been the caring sister figure she pretended to be. But in this universe, they're criminals who destroyed my life and the lives of at least 16 other people. Do you, Marcus Chen, take Jennifer Walsh to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do. And do you, Jennifer Walsh, take Marcus Chen to be your lawfully wedded husband? I do. By the power vested in me by the state of Oregon and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, I now pronounce you husband and wife under federal surveillance. Agent Shin grins beside me. That minister has been waiting weeks to deliver that line. The chaos happens in seconds. Federal agents emerge from every corner of the venue as Marcus and Jennifer realize something has gone catastrophically wrong with their perfect plan. The look on Marcus's face when he sees me step out of the surveillance van is worth every minute I spent in that jail cell. He's standing at the altar in handcuffs, his bow tie askew, staring at me like I've risen from the dead. Jennifer is screaming something about her rights while Agent Martinez reads them their Miranda warnings, but Marcus just keeps staring. Emma? His voice carries across the chaos of overturned chairs and panicking wedding guests. How are you? You're supposed to be in jail. Surprise, I call back, walking through the venue doors with Agent Chen beside me. Turns out innocent people don't stay in jail when the FBI builds a solid case. The wedding photographer, Agent Martinez, is still snapping pictures, but now he's documenting evidence instead of capturing memories. Jennifer's designer wedding dress is wrinkled from her attempts to run before they tackled her behind the gift table. This is insane. Jennifer shouts, makeup streaking down her cheeks. Marcus, tell them. Tell them Emma was the one. Jennifer Walsh, Agent Chin interrupts, you have the right to remain silent. I'd suggest using it. But Marcus isn't looking at Jennifer anymore. He's staring at me with something I've never seen in his eyes before, genuine fear. Emma, listen to me. His voice drops to the pleading tone he used whenever our finances were tight. I can explain everything. The separate account, the contracts, I was protecting you. Building a safety net so you wouldn't have to worry. Protecting me? I laugh, and it comes out harder than I intended. Marcus, you stole $847,000 while I ate ramen for 6 months. You filed paperwork claiming I voluntarily gave up 90% of my own company. You committed insurance fraud using my signature. That wasn't, I never meant for, he stumbles over his words, looking around at the federal agents, the overturned wedding cake, his new wife in handcuffs. Emma, we've been friends for 3 years. You know me. You know I wouldn't hurt you deliberately. The audacity is breathtaking. Even caught red-handed, even surrounded by evidence, he's still trying to manipulate me. I knew Marcus Chen, I say, stepping closer to the altar where our friendship died. Turns out he never existed. The Marcus I knew wouldn't steal client payments while watching me borrow grocery money from friends. He wouldn't forge my signature on legal documents. And he definitely wouldn't frame me for felonies to cover his tracks. Agent Chen holds up her phone, showing Marcus something that makes his face go pale. We have your text messages, Mr. Chen. All of them. Including the ones where you and Ms. Walsh laughed about Emma's pathetic financial situation. Those were taken out of context. Can't wait to be done with this. She's so pathetic, always thanking me for groceries. Agent Chen reads directly from the screen. Seems pretty clear to me. Marcus's mother approaches from the guest seating, tears streaming down her face. Marcus, what is happening? Who are these people? Why is Emma here? Watching him try to explain to his family that their successful entrepreneur's son is actually a federal criminal feels like poetic justice. Mrs. Chen has always been proud of Marcus's business success, bragging to neighbors about her son, the tech mogul. Now she's learning it was all built on systematic theft. Ma, there's been a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding that spans 17 victims across 4 states? Agent Martinez joins our conversation, having finished processing Jennifer. Mr. Chen, we've been tracking your operation for months. Seattle, Phoenix, Denver, should I keep going? The blood drains from Marcus's face completely. You know about the others? And there it is. His confession, recorded on multiple devices, witnessed by his entire wedding party. Marcus just admitted there are others, confirming that Jennifer and I weren't isolated victims but part of a much larger criminal enterprise. Agent Chen smiles coldly. Marcus Chen, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit wire fraud across state lines. The courtroom is packed 3 months later when Marcus and Jennifer's trial begins. I'm sitting in the witness section, wearing the first new suit I bought in over a year, paid for with restitution money from seized assets. It feels surreal to have a bank account with actual money in it again. Marcus looks different in his orange jumpsuit. Smaller somehow, without the expensive clothes and confident swagger. His lawyer, a public defender who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else, shuffles through papers while the prosecutor lays out a case so damning I almost feel sorry for Marcus. Almost. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, over the next week you'll hear evidence of a systematic fraud scheme that destroyed 17 businesses and stole over $2.3 million from hardworking entrepreneurs across 4 states. I catch Marcus glancing at me during the opening statements. He looks away quickly when our eyes meet, but not before I see something that might be shame. Or maybe just fear of the 20-year sentence he's facing. Jennifer sits beside him, her designer wedding dress replaced with prison scrubs. She's still beautiful, but there's a hardness in her expression now that I never saw when she was playing Marcus's caring sister. When the prosecutor mentions her role in the identity theft operation, she actually smirks. The state will prove that Ms. Walsh used her position at Bank of America to facilitate fraudulent transactions, forge identification documents, and impersonate victims at multiple financial institutions. During the lunch break, Victoria, who I still think of as Agent Nash despite learning her real identity, finds me in the courthouse cafeteria. How are you holding up? She asks, settling across from me with a sandwich that looks infinitely better than anything I ate during those dark months. Better than expected. It's weird seeing them like this, knowing what they really are. The jury seems engaged. Marcus's lawyer tried to argue that you were a willing participant who got cold feet, but the forensic evidence makes that impossible to believe. I push salad around my plate, thinking about the past 3 months. Starting over hasn't been easy, rebuilding credit, finding a new apartment, explaining the gap in my employment history, but it's been honest work for honest money. Richard Blackstone kept his promise about funding my new company, and I've already landed 2 clients who specifically sought me out after reading about the case. Victoria, can I ask you something? How long have you really been investigating financial fraud? She smiles. 15 years. Started in white-collar crime, moved to the FBI when cases started crossing state lines more frequently. The Marcus and Jennifer operation was actually one of the more sophisticated we've seen. Sophisticated? They did their research. Targeted specific personality types, technical founders who trusted easily, people who were isolated from family or support networks. They studied their marks for months before making contact. The implication makes my stomach turn. Marcus didn't just happen to want a business partner? Emma, Marcus approached you specifically because our behavioral analysis suggested you'd be an ideal victim. Dedicated, trusting, financially naive. Victoria's expression softens. That's not a criticism, those are actually good qualities. But Marcus and Jennifer weaponized them. Across the cafeteria, I spot Marcus's mother sitting alone at a corner table. Mrs. Chen has been at every court session, watching her son's reputation destroyed piece by piece. Part of me wants to approach her, to say something comforting, but what would I say? Your son stole 3 years of my life? The afternoon session starts with Jennifer's bank surveillance footage. Victoria continues. Fair warning, it's going to be hard to watch. Seeing her impersonate you so casually. My phone buzzes with a text from Sarah, watching the trial coverage. You're braver than I ever could be. Dinner tonight to celebrate? Celebrate feels like the wrong word, but I understand what she means. This trial represents the end of a nightmare that consumed both our lives. Sarah spent months watching me deteriorate, lending me money she couldn't afford, trying to convince me that something was wrong with Marcus's financial reports. She deserves to celebrate my vindication. The afternoon session begins with Agent Martinez presenting evidence that makes the entire courtroom gasp. Bank surveillance footage shows Jennifer confidently walking into institutions, presenting identification, making transactions worth tens of thousands of dollars. In every video, she's wearing different wigs, different makeup, but always my clothes, stolen from my apartment during one of her helpful visits. The defendant can be seen here using Ms. Rodriguez's stolen driver's license to withdraw $23,000 from an account Ms. Rodriguez never knew existed. Marcus watches the footage with growing horror, like he's seeing Jennifer's actions for the first time. Maybe he is. Maybe he convinced himself that his girlfriend was just handling paperwork, not realizing the extent of her identity theft operation. When Jennifer takes the stand in her own defense, her testimony is a masterclass in deflection and manipulation. Marcus told me Emma was a willing participant, she lies smoothly. He said she preferred to stay in the background while he handled client relations. The separate accounts were her idea, something about tax advantages. The prosecutor doesn't buy it for a second. Ms. Walsh, if Ms. Rodriguez was a willing participant, why did you need to forge her signature on dozens of documents? Marcus said she was too busy with development work to handle administrative tasks. Too busy to sign her own name? Jennifer's composure finally cracks. You don't understand the pressure we were under. Marcus had these plans, these dreams, and Emma was holding us back with her constant worrying about money. There it is. Her real feelings about my pathetic financial stress, delivered with venom in front of 12 jurors who've been listening to evidence of systematic theft for 4 days. Marcus closes his eyes as his girlfriend destroys both their chances of leniency. The verdict comes back after 3 hours of deliberation. I'm sitting in the front row, my hands folded tightly in my lap, when the jury foreman stands. On the count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, we find the defendant Marcus Chin guilty. The word hits the courtroom like a physical blow. Mrs. Chin gasps behind me, and I hear Jennifer's lawyer curse under his breath. But I just feel empty, like air slowly leaking from a balloon. On the count of identity theft in the first degree, we find the defendant Marcus Chin guilty. On the count of insurance fraud, we find the defendant Marcus Chin guilty. The list goes on for 12 minutes. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Every charge, every count, every crime that destroyed my life and 16 others. Marcus stares straight ahead as his future evaporates, while Jennifer actually starts crying, not the dignified tears of remorse, but the ugly sobbing of someone who just realized she's going to prison for 20 years. 3 weeks later, I'm standing outside the federal courthouse after the sentencing hearing. Marcus got 18 years. Jennifer got 22, thanks to her bank employee status making the identity theft charges more severe. They'll both be eligible for parole in 12 years, assuming good behavior. Victoria emerges from the courthouse steps, looking satisfied. How does it feel? Anticlimactic, I admit. I thought I'd feel more vindicated? Triumphant? Instead, I just feel tired. That's normal. Fraud victims often describe closure as less dramatic than they expected. She checks her watch. The asset forfeiture hearing is next month. Based on what we've recovered, you're looking at around $340,000 in restitution. $340,000. More money than Marcus ever let me see in our shared accounts, but still less than half of what he stole from me. The rest went to lifestyle expenses, fancy dinners, designer clothes, the Tesla he bought while I walked to client meetings. My phone buzzes with a call from Richard Blackstone. Emma, congratulations on the verdict. Are you ready to discuss the next phase of Rodriguez Technical Solutions? My new company. Built on honest work, transparent finances, and partnerships where both people actually know what's happening. I've already hired 2 developers and landed a 6-figure contract with a Portland healthcare company. Everything Marcus said we couldn't afford to do, I'm doing myself with a team of 3 people. More than ready, Mr. Blackstone. As I walk to my car, a reliable Honda Civic, paid for in cash, I pass the restaurant where Marcus took me for our first business meeting 3 years ago. The place where he convinced me to trust him with my financial future while he was already planning to steal it. The irony isn't lost on me that I'm now more successful than TechFlow Solutions ever was under his management. Without the artificial scarcity he created, without the constant financial stress, without someone siphoning away profits, my work speaks for itself. Clients hire Rodriguez Technical Solutions because they trust my expertise, not because I'm desperately underpricing contracts to survive. My phone rings as I'm driving home to my new apartment, a real apartment with my name on the lease, paid for with money I actually earned. Emma Rodriguez, RTS. Ms. Rodriguez, this is David Martinez calling from Phoenix. I was one of the other victims in the Marcus Chin case, and I wanted to thank you. The Phoenix victim. The one whose case broke first, before Marcus refined his techniques. If you hadn't cooperated with the FBI, hadn't testified so thoroughly, Marcus and Jennifer would probably be starting their 3rd or 4th scam by now, David continues. You saved other people from going through what we went through. After we hang up, I sit in my parking garage thinking about the 17 victims, the $2.3 million stolen, the lives temporarily destroyed by 2 people who turned financial manipulation into an art form. Marcus always said we were building something together, creating value, making a difference. Turns out he was right about making a difference, just not the way he intended. The bank statements he hid, the separate account that started this entire nightmare, are now evidence exhibits in a federal case study on partnership fraud. The FBI uses our story to train agents investigating financial crimes. Marcus and Jennifer's techniques are being taught to law enforcement across the country. They built something lasting after all. A blueprint for catching people exactly like themselves.